If I lost everything, my pedals, my studio setup, even my guitars, and I had to start from scratch all over again, God forbid, what 3 pedals would I buy first? This isn't about buying back what I've already got, and it's not about nostalgia either. It's about getting the ingredients that will help me start writing, start creating, start playing again straight away. The stuff that at its core inspires me the most, and the stuff that I think makes me sound like me. And asking myself the question, what really matters after nearly 20 years of playing guitar and 15 years of collecting gear? And you know what? The answer I came to, funnily enough, is kind of the same 3 pedals that I started out with before YouTube. We're talking 15 years ago. This was pretty close to my rig. Not these exact pedals, but these types of pedals made up my rig back then. And to this day, it's probably the 3 ingredients that I need to sound like me. So, first ingredient, for me, if you know me and if you've been watching the channel for a long time, it has to be a fuzz pedal. Fuzz is where I have the most fun with playing guitar, and I love the different types of fuzzes. I find that really expressive, and I also find myself being able to express myself when I have a good fuzz pedal on the board. But if I was starting from scratch and I didn't have any fuzz pedals to go off, I'd need a fuzz that inspires me straight away, something that makes me want to pick up the guitar and play ridiculous noises with. Something that is a bit unpredictable, something that feels a little dangerous in a way, but still has a musicality about it. So what I went with was the Thorpe Effects Hanami. Something that hasn't actually been featured on the channel too much, but it's a fuzz pedal that I really love and keep coming back to as a bit of an all-rounder. It's one of those fuzz pedals that can go from gritty drive to all-out chaos, and it's super responsive with your guitar and your playing. My first ever fuzz pedal, which I guess started this love affair with fuzz, was the Way Huge Swollen Pickle, and I still have a soft spot for that pedal, and I'd really like to get one back one day. That thing was huge sounding. It was chaos. I remember clicking it on a gig, and every time I was just like blowing my head off. It was always the best part of the night for me. And in a way, the Hanami has a lot of similarities with that pedal, just with a bit more refinement, a bit more control, and a bit more clarity. I learned a lot of lessons, kind of cutting my teeth, using fuzz pedals live, specifically that Swollen Pickle, and those lessons that I've learned of changing how you need to play, changing the EQ on your amp and things like that, served me well today, and kind of is why I still love fuzz, and I think that Hanami is kind of an evolution of that, which will be a theme across the next 2 pedals as well. They're kind of evolutions of my first pedals. So in my opinion, every pedalboard, every rig needs a foundation, a core tone that you can always rely on, no matter the song, no matter the part, no matter the guitar, no matter the amp you're playing in. And for me, that is usually an overdrive pedal. And I think the pedal that maybe I've been most synonymous with, what people at least recognize me for, and at least what I've recommended the most, is the Protein. Now here we have the Protein V4. Basically 2 incredible drives in one. We have a smooth, clear blue side, and then a more gritty amp-like overdrive on the green side. Blues Breaker on the left, and Noble's ODR1 on the right. And the 2 come together to, for me anyway, get almost any drive sound that I need on a gig. I know that if I had just this on the floor, I'd be able to get through almost any set list. My first proper overdrive pedal was a full tone, full drive 2. And back then, to me, that thing was like the holy grail. And it taught me a lot about overdrive and gain staging specifically, because it had that built-in boost before the drive circuit. And you know what? I take a lot of those philosophies into my tone stacking and gain staging today. Okay, pedal number 3. If the Hanami gives me that kind of sense of danger and inspiration, and the Protein is my foundation, if you like, something I can rely on night in, night out, then the third pedal needs to be something that I can sort of fill in the gaps with, maybe. Something that can maybe get a little ambient, something that can maybe get a little wobbly, if I like. And the pedal that I've gone for today is a new acquisition for me, and I've really been enjoying playing it. It's kind of been a bit of a game changer. Is the Chroma console from Hologram Electronics. I'm sure you've seen plenty of demos on this already. It's not a new pedal, but it's new to me, and I'm loving it. We have 4 modules on here. It's basically a multi-effects pedal, by the way. 4 modules. We have like a character module, which is your overdrives, movement, which is your modulation, diffusion, which is delay and reverb, and texture, which are a few more textured things to add to your tone. So we've got a compressor, something that kind of emulates a tape machine, things like that. And you know what? This thing is exactly that, really. It's not just a delay, it's not just a modulation, it's a texture machine. It's the kind of pedal that completely shifts how you approach a song part, or just a riff, or even just a note and a chord. You can build these hazy soundscapes that are so expressive and interesting to listen to, but still musical. But not only that, you can take it, strip it right back and use it as a great vibrato, a great tremolo. Back in the day, 15 years ago, the pedal that kind of filled this spot was the Line 6 M5. And that thing, I was probably the most excited when I got that pedal for the first time, because I thought, I've got this little pedal board with just a few pedals on, and having that M5 on the board made that pedal board feel like 3 times the size, because I could get so many different sounds out of it. It was just game-changing for me. And the Chroma console kind of feels like the 2025 version of that feeling. Yes, I know that it's the HX1 now, which maybe is a more direct successor to the M5, but for me, something like the Chroma console and the way that you can use those sounds together is where the inspiration comes from. So yeah, this is where we're at. If I had to start again, a wild fuzz for my inspiration, a core overdrive sound for my foundation tone, and then something to fill in the gaps, and even more than fill in the gaps, to expand on my core tone with Chroma console. And as I keep touching on, it's kind of how I started out too. A fuzz, a drive, and a multi-effects. And it's kind of funny, you spend years collecting pedals, chasing tone. Very lucky to have done that, but once you strip it all back, you start to realize that it's the same stuff that still matters to you. It's the same stuff that makes you sound like you. Let me know what your 3 pedals would be if you had to start from scratch again, and don't just say a tuner, and don't just say a quad cortex, because that defeats the point. Let me know down below, and I'll see you in the next video.